Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this August 27th version of AM Live on EOA. Your connection to Eastern Oregon, and we are on the EOA network. You can find that link tree at eoa.network, and that's all the places where we are available. So,
yep. Yes, sir.
hey, how are you, man?
Second Monday. It feels like a first Monday. Well, no, actually it doesn't, because I actually worked more than I usually work on Mondays yesterday because I was trying to get that
Trying to get some interviews out. Yeah.
I got so much, this time of year, as you know, the interviews just pile up.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on 4 right now. No, actually I'm sitting on 6.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just one of those, just trying to find time.
Yeah.
And that's the most tedious part too, is getting them put together. It's not doing the interview or setting them up.
Yeah, that's why. And most people don't know that. Live stuff like this is like
easy money.
Yeah, it's out the door when you're done. But
Yeah.
the production of actually editing and putting stuff together, and
That's where the work's at.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah,
It's not horrible. I don't mind doing it. It's just one more box to check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's probably not very many. Well, I understand people that are content creators, but they aren't there's probably not too many people that are setting up their own interviews, doing the interview,
right.
editing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And putting it all out. Usually that. You know what I mean? That's probably a couple people, but that's you know what I mean. That's what I do. So it's
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some people that do it for their podcasts or whatever, but I've learned a lot doing it, that's for sure.
Well, and that's why, when people come in here for the first time into the studio, they're like, "Wow, there's a lot to this."
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to it,
Yeah.
and people they just don't know.
No, they look at it on screen and they're just like, "Oh yeah, there's these 2 yahoos sitting in grandma's basement."
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Not really, but yeah.
No, but it's been there's
It's fun. It's fun though.
It is fun. But
Every
there's
day
a
is
big
different-
investment. There's a big investment. you and I are here, and we have Gabe in the control room, and all the prep work. You do more prep work than anybody else, and it's a big commitment. So.
It is, but it's fun. It's rewarding.
Yeah.
I don't think it's rewarding to be on TV.
Right.
The rewarding part for me is just being able to get people information about sports, and you know what I mean, stuff that they wouldn't normally get.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
and I think that it is from a rewarding standpoint. Because this all started by, hey, let's just tell people what's going on in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah.
Let's tell people what's going on in La Grande.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, let's figure out how to pay for this. And so kind of the forward-facing thing is, let's do what's fun, and then it's not a great business model, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend, and if we didn't have the production side, there's no way we couldn't do this, because nobody could afford to do all of this as a hobby, essentially.
I was talking with, who was I? Oh, the guy who came in and did the whatever. I don't remember what he was looking at our stuff. I don't remember
our
his
consultant.
name.
We got a.
But I was talking with him, and I was really the only option to really we've grown so much. The only option is to expand area.
Right.
Really, that's all we could do is expand area. You know what I mean? I don't know that. I was telling him I don't know that I would want to, but maybe become more regional for sports coverage.
Yeah.
But that's so hard when it's just one person. I don't know. I have a hard time keeping up here.
Yeah. Well, and we would love to. The idea, and you and I have talked about it, and our audience probably doesn't know this specifically. We're trying to get this model dialed in, and then maybe have somebody in Wallowa County and have somebody in Baker County and have somebody, but
Umatilla County.
But it's the right kind of personality. People got to love to do.
Yeah.
They got to love their community, and So if you all hear of somebody who's hey, they're in Baker City, they love Baker City, and they want to, they want to talk about the events that are going on in Baker City, then, those are the kinds of people that we would love to have them duplicate this model in Baker City, and it would just come and be a part of the network. So
it would be all right.
Yeah, and the football games,
they've expanded for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of our foot in the door in those
This
communities.
is our first year doing all three.
Yes, it is.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, and it's, and a special shout out to Tanya for that, because she's the one that she works a full-time job, and now she's got several Fridays that she's working too. Right, yeah. So, yeah, she's the camera person of the second crew. So, all right, well, hey, you ready to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Go out Union Highway, through Union, take a left, go up the hill. Beautiful course out there. Dana's done a great job out at Buffalo Peak. The pro shop looks great. We're getting towards the end of the summer, so if you want to golf, get out there and hit up Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak. EOU national champ wrestler and current assistant coach at Hunter Sparks was named the Ad Rutschman Small College Athlete of the Year for EOU, which is awesome. I mean, another award for him. He was the Wrestler of the Year in the NAIA. I mean, they just stacked up. Last week, EOU named Brian Valentine as the third head coach since the resurrection of baseball at EOU. Valentine comes to LeGrand after serving as an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at Lower Columbia College. He helped guide the Red Devils to a 79-29 overall record over the course of 2 seasons. They won the NWAC championship in 2023. I feel like he has some big shoes to fill. Treadway was only here for 2 years. I mean, he got here a little bit into his first season, and Coach Treadway did a great job turning that baseball program around after it was off to a really rough start. I mean, his first year, obviously, they only won 3 games, but he was still sitting on players that he hadn't recruited, and the culture wasn't great at EOU baseball. But Valentine got left a program that is in really good shape right now. So there's some high expectations there. Coach Treadway took a natural career progression and took a job at a D1 school, Utah Valley State, as the pitching coach, and just nothing but luck for him in the future. I couldn't even think of the word. Nothing but well wishes for him in the future. Quick Peasley update. Today is the roster cut to 53 day in the NFL. The Jets have not announced all of their cuts yet. As of now, we will know by 1 p.m. our time what Peasley's future this season will look like. I personally would like to see either the Jets keep 3 quarterbacks, with Peasley being the third, just in case 14-year vet or 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor, who are the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks, they're both old, and something could happen. You never know. Or I would like to see Peasley be pushed to the practice squad and maybe sign somewhere else. I think he has a shot to make an NFL roster. I don't know if it's the Jets, but if the Jets do keep 3 quarterbacks, it's either going to be him or Martinez right now. So just nothing but well wishes to him too. I hope something works out for him this year, and I'd like to see him on my Chargers. I already said that. I think our backup quarterback sucks, and I would love to see Peasley. I would love to have a Chargers uniform.
Said Peasley on
I would wear that 3 days a week. I really would. LHS football kicks off its season this Friday versus Astoria at 6 p.m. Be live streamed right here on EOA Live. We have room for sponsors and advertisers still. So if you're interested, message us right here on Facebook or email office@eoalive.tv. We need to pack Community Stadium as this Tiger team looks to rebound from a tough season last year. We will also be live streaming the Pendleton versus Scappoose game on Friday night, which starts at 7 p.m. Both boys and girls soccer at LHS gets their seasons underway. On Friday as well, the boys play at noon. The girls play at 2 versus Junction City, right up here at Community Stadium as well. EOU men's soccer takes on Whitman tonight at 7 p.m. in Walla Walla, while the women play Thursday at 4 p.m. in Napa versus Northwest Nazarene. I had head coach Josh Goodman and seniors Megan Gustafson and Brooke Snyder on the sports show yesterday. This women's soccer team has high expectations for this upcoming season, and they look to bring a CCC championship back to EOU and make the national tournament this year. Number 3 EOU volleyball takes on their 8-0 record to Napa on Friday for a non-league scrimmage type of game versus Northwest Nazarene. I was like, I don't know if I like these kind of games. Like you're already in the middle of your season. You're going to go play a team. I mean, I guess it's good for to get some of the younger players in. The ladies just got back after going 4-0 in San Antonio, Texas. Here's a little sneak peek at tomorrow's sports show with EOU women's volleyball's Kiera Vaughn and Kiana Mack.
You better be willing to give everything you've got, because it is 5-6 months of pedal to the metal. You're going. So you got to be tough. You have to be mentally tough. And you have to be wanting to get better.
What's the goals for this team this year? 8-0 to start the season.
Yeah, the goal's to win a natty. That's what it's been.
Yeah. When somebody comes in and says that, oh, we just want to do good, it's like,
no.
Come on. If you aren't, at this level, if you're not wanting to win it all, you're there. I mean, I think you're there for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
What about one word to describe this year's team? Only one.
I want to say dedication.
Yeah?
I think. Yeah.
Everybody across the board.
Yeah. It was made pretty clear right when we got here this season that everyone's here and we have a goal, and everyone knows that goal from day one. So when it was like, you're dedicated to that goal or you're not, and if you're not on the ride, then you're not here for the right reasons.
Take the bus back home, whatever they do. Really great conversations with two young ladies that should definitely be huge impact players for EOU volleyball this year as they look to return to the national tournament. And I mean, like she said, their goal is to win a national championship, and it's within reach. I would love to see that for EOU and for Khaki and for these ladies. They work super hard, and it would be awesome, really. Last thing, QR code for Cade's Courage. I'm going to put it up every show. Scan it. It takes you to the GoFundMe page. If you have the means, help the family out. Cade's a 3-sport athlete at LHS High School. His dad, Parker, is the baseball coach here at LeGrand, and he is battling a form of Ewing sarcoma cancer, and it's going to be a long battle, and the family needs help. If you don't do the GoFundMe thing, U.S. Bank has an account set up in the McKinley family name or under K's Courage, and you can donate there. AM Sports Report brought to you by Buffalo Peak Golf Course. Meet me at the peak.
All right. Good stuff, man.
Bud says, how about I get a camera and microphone at my recliner? The armchair commander. He said you could break to my camera for comments on plays. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Just bring him in via.
Yeah, he could be the color commentator.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
Yeah, what do you think of that play?
Right? That would be amazing.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers is 40.
Yeah, he's 40.
Wow.
And then I think it's like his 18th year in the NFL.
Right.
Tyrod Taylor's 14th, so those are the two. But then the Jets also have their drafted rookie, who's hurt right now, Jordan Travis from Florida State. And then Peasley and Martinez are battling for the spot. They're either going to keep 3 and put 1 on the practice squad, or keep 2 and put 1 on the practice squad. We'll know within the next few hours what happens. I mean, they probably already know.
Right.
It just isn't out yet.
Right.
But they cut down to 53 today. And then they can only dress 48 for games. So 5 guys don't get to dress every week.
So they're on the roster. Okay, so they're on the squad.
Yeah.
they're on the payroll.
Yep.
But they
And they're part of the team, but
and they practice, right?
It's weird how they do it in the NFL. 53, 48. Like I said, I think I said last week, only 13 teams in the NFL kept 3 quarterbacks last year, and the Jets were not one of them. It doesn't make a lot of sense to keep 3 quarterbacks in the NFL for the simple fact that the chances of both the quarterbacks getting hurt are fairly small, and a lot of times you got a guy that plays somewhere else that can come in and take snaps if he has to, and just hand the ball off or run with the ball. You've seen it a few times in the NFL, but like I said, I want Peasley to come to San Diego or LA. Excuse me, I still call it San Diego because I hate that they moved to LA.
So how does the NFL have a salary cap? And I mean, do they have, do they each have the same budget, or do they, how is that?
I don't know exactly how that works. I've never really paid attention to like the money part of it. Like I know that the rookie minimum is like to sign, it's like $750,000 a year. I don't know what the team constraints are. I know in baseball there isn't. You just pay a luxury tax. But in the NFL, I don't know that there is a salary cap.
Right, but but in both of those sports, if you have a team that's raking in a ton of money, they have a bigger advantage. They have, right? Yeah,
of course. Yeah,
yeah. They hire better players.
So there's a salary limit in baseball. I don't know how it works in football exactly, but in baseball there's the salary cap, which is whatever number it is. And then anything you go over that, you pay a luxury tax to the league.
Oh, interesting.
So the teams that have huge budgets, the Dodgers have like 3 or 4. The Padres have like 3 guys that are on like $300 million contracts.
Right.
And so they pay a luxury tax if they go over the cap.
So they can still pay them more.
Yeah, they just have to pay a tax.
They pay a tax to the league.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peasley signed as an undrafted rookie free agent, and that's a minimum contract. But still, pay me that much money. I would love to, you know what I mean? Go hang out. Well, and don't get me wrong, not just hang out, but it's a lot of hard work, and he worked his butt off to get there. But $750,000 a year is not bad.
No.
And the practice, if he does end up making the practice squad, it's just like being on the team, except for on Sundays, you don't dress down. You're working out, you're doing all the same things that you get all the benefits that the team gets. You know what I mean? You just don't travel. You don't. Yeah. And during the week, if you're playing the Chiefs, Peasley's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to go. Because we have all of that footage from him playing in high school. It'd be fun to kind of go back through that and put together a reel.
That would take a long time to dig through it all. And we have access to all of the road games now too that were televised, that were filmed because we got that NFH. Well, I haven't got it yet.
But back then we were doing the away games too.
Oh, so all of them are there.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, that was a crazy lift back then.
Yeah.
But I remember once we were playing Pendleton, and I think Pendleton won because they were, even during that time. But I remember
they were 5A, we were 4A at the time.
But remember Peasley hurdling a guy, and that wasn't legal. They couldn't hurdle. So they called the play back, whatever it was, because it risked, I guess, the injury from the OSAA, and I might be understanding that you couldn't. That wasn't allowed.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never heard of not.
But it was like, I remember the play. Ken Kennedy was calling the play, and he was like, he just hurdled a guy. Yeah.
Huh. Was it like that hurdle from that I got the picture of Genty from Boise State last year?
It probably
jumping
was.
over the guy?
Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah, it was like the guy had gone to tackle Peasley, and he just
That's
jumped.
Not illegal.
Well, like I said, I have no idea. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
in OSAA,
no, it's not illegal. You can jump over people.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's a weird rule that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I remember at the time, when Ken Kennedy called the call, he was as puzzled as everybody. Like, what?
You never know with refs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, half the time, I don't even know what the call on the field is. Half the time, the refs don't even know what
Yeah.
the call on the field is.
Yeah.
No offense to the refs, but like
Yeah.
one guy will throw a flag, and the other guys are like, "What's going on?" You know what I mean? They have
Right.
no idea. A lot of times they don't see it, but sometimes they're just confused.
Right.
There was a couple times last year where I was just like, what is going on here? Like, and then they explain it, and you're just like, oh, okay. Huh.
So let's talk about for a second. So in college sports, they're going to do. I mean, we were talking to Gib about this. They're going to do replays during. Is that this year?
I think that starts next year. I think they have like a pilot program this year.
Well, and it's the official. It's a replays for
replay.
officials,
Yeah,
not right.
Not
Right.
like. I mean, they already do replay on EOA
Right.
sports.
Right.
But yeah, they are doing replay in the NAI.
Because I think that they.
Volleyball, basketball, football.
Yeah.
I don't remember the sport. He said the sports, but I don't really remember who they.
Right. And I mean the technical burden. I mean, I know the technical burden that we face, what it is that we do, and so then.
The good thing is EOU doesn't have to do anything with it.
Right.
They're not even any of the. They don't have to man any of it. Nothing.
The whole system is just.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because that would be a nightmare. But you'd have to hire somebody to do it. I mean, you can't have a college kid come in and do that like that has no experience.
Right.
It would be a nightmare. So I don't know where they're going to find the people to do that.
Right.
I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
weird road that the NAI is going down.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of necessary, but at the same time, like it makes it more organic to not have replays. It makes it more, the human element is more involved, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I guess I do wonder how they're going to manage. I mean, the delay of games that could be, or I mean, there's got to be a limit to what you like challenge. If you challenge and you lose a timeout, or
There will be.
There's got to be some kind of
there'll be a set of
disincentive.
rules that says like, from like in football, the last 2 minutes on a scoring play, it's automatic or whatever.
Right.
And then the coaches each have a couple of times where they can throw their little
Right.
red bag,
Right.
and if they lose the challenge, then they lose a timeout. If
Yeah.
they win the challenge, they don't lose a timeout.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're going to have to definitely put constraints around it. You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just say, "Hey, replay." The craziest thing is for a long time in baseball they didn't have replay.
Right,
I mean, it was
yeah.
the last sport to really have replay.
Yeah.
And now baseball's bang bang. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
very fast.
Right.
Making a call on a tag or a play at first is hard. You know what I mean? And now they have, you can challenge it, and it just makes umpires look bad in my
How many?
eyes.
Well, and how do they mitigate the number of times that a play can be challenged in baseball?
I think it's the same. I think you get a certain amount per game.
Okay.
But they don't charge you timeouts. If you win it, you don't lose your challenge. Like you get to keep. You know what I mean? So say you start with 2 challenges or 1 challenge. If you lose both of them, they're gone. I don't know how many you get exactly, but if you win, then you can challenge again.
Okay. So you have a budget of challenges that
Yes.
you can do in a game,
Yeah.
and got it.
And then in football, it's the same. You lose a timeout though if you. There's
Yeah.
no timeouts in baseball.
Do they do challenges on balls and strikes ever?
You can't challenge balls and strikes.
Okay.
Eventually, you'll be able, like they're talking about, they've tested robot umpires.
Right.
That basically tell the guy behind the plate whether it was a ball or a strike.
Right.
And I don't think I like that. I mean, as a pitcher, one of the things that you try to do is establish the strike zone early so your catcher can start extending it. Mm-hmm. And if you're hitting your spots, the umpire is more likely to give you strikes that are a little bit off the plate. Mm-hmm. So if my catcher sets up, say, 4 inches off the black,
Okay.
and the black is the black around the plate,
Okay.
and I have been hitting all my spots, and I'm hitting the glove, that umpire's probably going to call that a strike.
Even though he's setting up 4
Even
inches
though he's
outside.
though he's setting up, because my catcher's going to frame it to
Right,
the inside,
right.
and a robot won't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if it's off the plate, it's off the plate.
Yeah.
And a lot of pitchers, especially in the 90s, lived on, Greg Maddux lived on pitches that were, you know, cutting the plate up, like outside, inside, you know what I mean? And it takes away the human element and takes away, I guess it makes it more fair. I don't know. I mean, it's already really hard to hit a baseball, so I don't know.
I saw some social media on Greg Maddux not too long ago, and where he would call the next pitch just by the way that he caught the ball. I mean, he had some finesse. So, because normally
he called his own pitch. He was one of the few pitchers that called his own pitches.
And he would do that. You know, they had symbols and stuff, and
When I was in high school, and my whole high school career pretty much, I didn't wear. I had sports goggles for sports, and I hated them, so I didn't wear them. So I was blind as a bat. so my catchers all knew that I couldn't see their fingers, even if they painted their fingernails. I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
So there was no point in giving me finger signals.
Right.
So we set up a system where it was all based off of where their glove was positioned when they were giving the signals.
Oh, I see. So they give a signal, but you couldn't see it.
It didn't matter.
But
it was all based on if their glove was on their knee or in the dirt.
Right,
or,
yeah.
You know, if
Interesting.
Because I couldn't see the dang fingers.
In that super subtle thing, and that is what is cool about baseball.
Yeah,
is that
definitely
it's so subtle. Yeah.
Definitely a lot of stuff, a lot of savviness in baseball. You have to be very baseball savvy to understand the intricacies of the sport.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Legion ball, my head coach was the EOU coach too. And like if you're on third or on second, he's not giving you any signs to steal, right? It's a verbal. And so he'll say good, good. And then if he says good, good, that means go. Like you're going.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he's telling you good, saying you can get a little bit more.
Right.
You're on
right,
second.
Right. Yeah.
He's saying good, you take another little step, and then it's good, good, and you're gone. Or like if I see the catcher, if I'm on second and I see the catcher's signs, I'm giving the batter signals on as the runner. If my hands are on my thighs, it's a fastball. If my hands are down, or it's a curveball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Well, and if you know their signs, though, do you know their?
Well, I mean, a lot of times you can watch
Okay.
and catch on to it. You
I
know what I
see.
mean? If
Oh,
you
I
watch
see.
it
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
times, you're
right.
like, oh, okay, so
That's
second
a sign for a
is a
fastball.
1 and it's a foul. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, not all the time, because some of them are, and nowadays that's out of the game. It's all through even the high schools use earpieces for the catchers. The pitching coach calls the pitch like this.
Really?
Fastball. Yeah. They all wear.
Oh, I didn't know.
Just
so they're
started
not.
catching on in high school the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't, and pitchers, they wear a little thing now in Major League Baseball where they can communicate to the catcher what pitch they want to throw or whatever, and the catcher wears an earpiece where he's talking to a coach. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah.
So they don't even have to do signs anymore.
Well, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. The pitcher
Yeah.
will just get a little note. You know, I don't know
Right.
how exactly it works, but they have a little thing that they wear.
Yeah.
And because and a lot of that's because of the stuff that happened with the Astros,
Oh.
with them stealing signs and banging on garbage cans and all that stuff. It was a mess. But sign stealing's been going on forever.
Yeah.
It's part
seems
of the game.
like it
You
seems,
get caught, you're getting beamed.
Well, and it's funny.
it's
It
that
seems
simple.
like banging on a garbage can seems like it would be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, every
Nowadays, though, like baseball's so different. Like, you know, you see guys hit home runs and do all this, you know, masquerading and crap. You did that when I was playing baseball. You're getting corked.
Yeah.
You're getting drilled.
Yeah.
Like if you show up the pitcher after you hit a home run off of him,
Right.
the next time you come up, it don't matter if he's pitching or if his teammate's pitching. You're getting drilled. That's all there is to it. Or like stealing signs. You get caught stealing signs, you're getting drilled. Like just because that's part of it. I got in trouble. I think I've told you this story before. I was coaching the freshman team at LeGrand, the high school team. This was after I came back from California, and I was probably like 20, right before I moved to Western Oregon. And I taught. I mean, one of the old tricks in baseball is if it's a two-man umpire crew, and there's a runner in front of you, and you are rounding second to go to third. You cut second base. You don't touch it. You know, I don't. There was times where I missed that thing by 10 feet.
Right.
I was in the grass.
Because there's nobody to
There's
see
nobody watching.
Right,
it.
right.
Yeah, and I taught the freshmen this, and I had a parent just lose it on me. I'm like, that's part. Like that's, you know what I mean. I was taught that.
Yeah.
My coach was taught that. You know what I mean. It's part of. If you can cut second and you're slow, especially.
Right.
Anything to gain a little bit of an advantage, like
Cut it by 10 feet.
Oh, easy, BC. There was times the grass. I mean, it's the same field,
Right.
Optimus. I would literally round second in the grass, and the other team's coach is screaming. But if that umpire's not looking,
Right.
he can't make that call. It's not on video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no video. There's no. You know what I mean? Like they can appeal it all they want, but if the umpire didn't see it,
Right.
what can he do? It's like, and on a two-man crew, one umpire is watching the plate, and the other umpire most of the time is watching the runner in front of you.
Right.
So it's like,
Recently, I think, and we might have talked about, there's kind of a new trend in baseball where they're not sliding into second. If they know they're going to get out at second, I'm trying to remember that they're running straight on through. And I'm trying to remember what that, I mean, there was some, I don't know. Have
I
you
think
heard
I
of that
saw
trend?
that video, but I think
Yeah,
it
I
has
don't-
to do with, man, I don't remember. I
Can't
saw
remember.
it on social
I mean, I
media.
think what it was is that they're in the way. If they know they're going to be, they're in the baseline. So if they're standing up running to second and they know they're going to get out at second, then they're standing in the way of the second baseman to throw it to first somehow.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what the advantage was, but
Yeah,
there was some.
That's something new.
Yeah.
I don't know. Baseball's weird.
Well, and you have those little teeny intricacies that
So many
teams
of
figure
them,
out.
too.
It's
So
like,
many.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And just the analytics of baseball is crazy.
Yeah.
The movie Moneyball kind of talks about that.
Yeah, and see, that's way beyond me.
It's all based on nowadays there's so many different stats that they keep too. Back in the days it was like on base percentage, batting average, RBIs, home runs, hits, stolen bases. Now it's like OPS, BPS, this, that. It's like WAR. Well, WAR's always been kind of a stat that people worried about, and that's just wins above replacement. So if you were to take somebody else and put them in there, how much more your team is going to win with you in there? It's weird. Yeah, baseball's a weird sport.
Huh. Well,
It's not the funnest sport to watch in my eyes.
no, it wasn't. I mean,
Slow.
it wasn't until I went to several major league games and I had somebody beside me who was talking to me the entire time. You know, watch this. And, I mean, first game I ever went to, Randy Johnson was pitching.
For the Mariners.
I had no idea who he even was, and then it's later on I figured out, I was like, oh.
That's a funny because I posted a thing in our sports group today on Facebook this morning of Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson got hurt. He had hit 3 home runs in a row in 3 consecutive at-bats against the Yankees. Got hurt, was out for like a month. Came back, and his first at-bat back was against Randy Johnson, and he hit a home run for his 4th home run in a row, which is crazy.
Yeah, but it wasn't until somebody was just like, I mean, and they were just constantly like, okay, now watch, this is what's going on, this is what's happening here. And
A good way to learn baseball is keep score.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You learn like what it's called, like an F7 is a fly out to left field. 6-4-3 is a double play from the shortstop to the second baseman to the first baseman.
yeah.
So there's a lot to there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I prefer minor league baseball games than major league just because it's more engaging. They do more with the crowd because baseball just gets slow. Like I would much rather go to a softball game.
Yeah.
It's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, hey, a lot of gabbing. Let's look at the weather real quick.
Oh yeah, we haven't even looked at the weather.
Yeah.
Yet.
It's pretty outside, and let's look at the weather graphic. It's starting to feel like a little fall. 76 today.
Yeah,
down to 40 tonight.
Don't you say that prematurely? Look.
Yeah, and then it goes this weekend. It's going to be back into the 90s. Wow.
97 on Sunday.
Yeah. Yep.
97? Like it's 76 today, and then it's going to be 97 in 4 days.
Yeah.
5 days.
So the games on Friday it'll be warm, setting up. So.
Yeah, it'll cool off by the time the game starts. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad. EOU game on Saturday though will be hot.
Yeah.
1 o'clock start.
Which game is that? Football.
Football. Yeah, they have a scrimmage on Saturday against Northwest Christian College at home.
That'll be good for them. When does their regular season
The
start?
following week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
Yep. Talk more about that next week.
All right.
When I have the football players on. It's exciting. I'm ready. I'm ready for some football.
Ready to get going. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably sports-wise. I hate to say favorite, but like I'm pretty big fan of volleyball and football, so like those two combined is like probably the best for me. Or it's either that or spring with baseball and softball, but I think football. It's cooler, a little bit easier to take. Like football's really easy to take pictures of.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy. There's a lot of resets. You know what I mean? Like it's not like volleyball or baseball where there's people doing anything can happen.
Right. Yep.
I'm excited.
And taking volleyball pictures is hard. I mean,
it's second hardest sport in my eyes.
Yeah, no,
soccer.
it's because it's like, I mean, you take a lot of pictures before you really have a keeper.
A lot.
Yeah.
I could tell. I mean, literally, like if I shoot 1,500 pictures at a volleyball game, and that's with high speed continuous or whatever, I'll get 40, 50.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What percentage is that? Not good.
Well, and it's just super. I mean, you've got to be at the net in order to get something.
Yeah.
And it's crowded there. There's not really. Yeah. I mean, it's just a.
One of the people in one of the groups that I'm in for pictures does something cool. They go up on the referee stand before the game for warm-ups and takes pictures from up where the referee sits.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a cool.
Of the players.
The good thing about EOU is they have the balcony. I go up there a lot.
Yeah.
Like during volleyball and shoot down.
Yeah.
Towards the players. Like I'll go on the opposite end of where we are.
Right.
And shoot
back
at them. Not everybody has that luxury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's either there. Sometimes I'll sit in the stands right on the net, and then most of the time I just stand on the baseline behind the out of bounds line on whatever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes on our side, but most of the time on the opposite side and shoot through the net.
Yeah.
It's fun. Volleyball is definitely a tough sport though to take pictures of. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because of all the, like a lot of times you'll be shooting somebody going up for a spike and you get like their midsection or sometimes their legs. It's like, what, like,
No, and
like,
it's indoor, high speed
weird
photography,
lighting.
and the light is bad, and I mean, it's just the light is, that's why, I don't know if they still do it, but it used to be that, like the Sports Illustrated photographers that did basketball, they literally would have strobes that they would mount up in the ceiling. And so then every time they'd take a photo, I mean, the entire place would light up.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't. I don't think they even allow.
Well,
that.
that was the only way to get it with film. You know, there was not the. Yeah. So, yep.
Good.
Well,
Let's do it.
you want to get us out here?
Let's do it.
All right.
On this day, August 27th, 1783, the first hydrogen balloon flight, unmanned, reaches an altitude of 900 meters. A hydrogen balloon in 1783. 1955, on this day, the Guinness Book of World Records is first produced. 1964, on this day, Walt Disney's musical film Mary Poppins, directed by Robert Stevenson, starring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, is premiered at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, California. The movie won 5 Academy Awards. 2003, on this day, Mars makes its closest approach to Earth in nearly 60,000 years. It's still 34,646,418 miles away. That's a lot of miles.
I wonder how much closer. Interesting.
I don't know.
34 million miles away, right? Anyhow, wow.
2006, on this day, Conair Flight 5191 crashes on takeoff from Bluegrass Airport in Lexington, Kentucky, bound for Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, killing 49 of 50 on board. Could you imagine being the lone survivor? The lone survivor, James Pohinke, was the first officer and was flying the aircraft. He wasn't the pilot, but at the time of the crash, he was flying, and he's the only one that survived. Talk about survivor's guilt right there. Like, yeah, 49 people die, and you're the only one that lives, and you just happen to be the one flying, and you weren't the pilot, so you weren't responsible for like the you help with the pre-flight checks, but the pilot is in charge. Like they're the boss, and you're flying. And it crashes, you live, everybody else dies.
Wow. What year was that?
That was in 2006.
Wow.
2006. And he's still alive. There's a special, I think it's called Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. 2023, on this day, gymnast Simone Biles wins her record 8th U.S. championship in gymnastics, which 8 years as the best is in gymnastics is really crazy because their careers are quick. You know what I mean? A lot of them are really young.
Yeah.
You got to be springy. It's crazy to see how small they are.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's a picture of her and Shaq, and she really, literally looks like a little doll standing next to him. It's crazy. The #1 movie in the country on this day in 2004 was Hero with Jet Li. It broke Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon's record for the highest weekend debut for a foreign film. It was a Chinese film. The quote of the day comes from Harry Truman, and it is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. I think I've done this one before, but I like it. So one more time, it is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. Remember, Friday, we're live streaming LeGrand at 6. First Astoria. Pendleton at 7 versus Scappoose. And if you're interested in advertising or sponsoring, email us at office@eolive.tv, or you can message us right here on Facebook.
Yep. And Thursday, Dr. Kelly Ryan, president of EOU, will be with us. So thanks so much. See you soon.